Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed students. Today, I will discuss the fascinating concepts of dualism and the mind-body problem as proposed in my philosophy. These ideas revolve around the distinction between the mind and the body, and the challenges posed by their interaction. Let us delve into these concepts step by step. Firstly, I introduce the notion of mind-body dualism. I argue that the mind and the body are fundamentally distinct entities. The mind, or the soul, is a thinking and non-extended entity, while the body is an extended and non-thinking entity. This distinction gives rise to what is known as the mind-body problem, which questions how these two fundamentally different entities can interact with each other. To understand the motivations behind maintaining this distinction, we need to explore two aspects, the religious and the scientific. From a religious perspective, I sought to provide a rational foundation for the belief in the soul's immortality. By demonstrating that the mind or soul can exist independently of the body, I aim to refute skeptics who demanded mathematical proof of an afterlife. While I did not prove the actual immortality of the soul, I believe that the real distinction argument offered a solid basis for the hope of an afterlife. From a scientific standpoint, I aim to replace the scholastic Aristotelian explanations in physics, which relied on final causes, with mechanistic explanations rooted in geometry. I criticize the use of final causes, such as objects striving to achieve their proper place, as explanations for physical phenomena. By establishing the real distinction between mind and body, I sought to eliminate mental causation and establish a clear understanding of the geometrical nature of bodies. Now, let us examine the real distinction argument more closely. I formulated this argument in different versions, but they all share a fundamental premise: the natures of mind and body are completely different. Based on my clear and distinct understanding of the mind and body separately, I inferred their independent existence. I believed that the veridical guarantee of clear and distinct ideas, supported by the existence of a non-deceptive God, validated the truth of my premises. In other words, God's power makes the logical possibility of minds existing without bodies and bodies existing without minds a metaphysical possibility, establishing them as two truly distinct substances. This brings us to the mind-body problem. If the mind and body are fundamentally different, how can they causally interact? This problem can be divided into two aspects: mind-to-body causation and body-to-mind causation. The former refers to how the non-extended mind can cause voluntary bodily movements, while the latter concerns how bodily motions can give rise to mental sensations. In response to these problems, I propose a twofold explanation. Firstly, I argue that the mind-body union requires an explanation that I have not yet provided. Secondly, I assert that the problem itself arises from a false presupposition that substances with different natures cannot act on each other. To elaborate further, I reject the mechanistic view of mind-body interaction, which suggests that contact and motion are necessary for their interaction. Instead, I propose a theory of mind-body union that aligns more closely with the scholastic Aristotelian perspective. According to this view, the mind and body are metaphysical parts that together form a complete human being. Their union is a relation of act and potency rather than a mechanical interaction. Modes of voluntary bodily movements and sensations should be attributed to the whole human being, not to the mind or body alone. This perspective avoids the problem of contact and motion that troubled critics like Gassendi and Elizabeth. I acknowledge that the scholastic Aristotelian interpretation of my theory encounters challenges, particularly regarding the problem of formal causation. This problem questions how an immaterial soul or mind, as a substantial form, can act on a material body. While my theory may not solve all the causal problems associated with the union of mind and body, understanding it in the context of a relation of act and potency offers a fresh perspective on my philosophy. Moreover, it redirects scholarly attention to the formal causal issues involved. In conclusion, mind-body dualism, the real distinction between mind and body, is a key concept in my philosophy. The mind, as a thinking entity, and the body, as an extended entity, are fundamentally different. The mind-body problem arises from the challenge of explaining how these distinct entities can interact causally. By exploring the motivations behind maintaining this distinction and examining my response to the mind-body problem, we gain a deeper understanding of these complex philosophical concepts. As we conclude this discussion, I extend my gratitude to each and every one of you, esteemed students, for your attentive presence and intellectual contributions. I encourage you to continue engaging with these profound ideas, challenging them, and looking deep within yourselves for meaningful insights. It is through rigorous self-reflection and the pursuit of knowledge that we can uncover profound truths and enrich our understanding of the world. May you all embark on your own philosophical quests, pushing the boundaries of your intellect and exploring the depths of your consciousness. Thank you for your unwavering dedication and thoughtfulness.